So for this Mono Blue Tempo, we're going with the idea of trying to take advantage of the Academy Loremaster. If you're not familiar with this, it's a new card. Double blue, you get a 2/3 at the beginning of each player's draw step. That player may draw an additional card. If they do, the spells will cost an extra 2 more to cast. So to take advantage of this, we're playing cards like Fairy Vandal, where every single time we draw a second card in a turn, we get a +1/+1 counter on it. And we also run a whole bunch of very cheap interactions, mostly counterspell magic, Spell Pierce, Essence Capture, Make Disappear, to help protect our cards. This is also a very good deck idea for using Delver's Secrets, and we're going to give that a try. Our only non-instant sorcery spell is going to be Combat Research, so that way whenever our creature deals combat damage to a player, we'll be able to draw a card. If it happens to be legendary, we'll get a +1/+1 and ward on it, but that's not the case for any of our creatures. And that's the general idea. So we take advantage of getting all the extra draw during our turn, and basically holding up all of our mana during our opponent's turn because we don't bother casting anything, for just all these counterspell magics to protect our creatures aggressing them. And just getting that carded value against them. Now, the opponent can take the extra card draw, but it's going to be harder for them to play their spells and deal with our creatures since they're, flying evasive monsters. So they either take the value of the draw, or they stick to their normal play patterns. And we're trying to see how many people we can trap taking the draw value. Alright, off the start, we actually get to start with the Delver's Secrets and a Ledger Shredder. Ledger Shredder is actually one of those cards, when I was testing this, it's a little iffy, because we don't really double spell very often. I was planning on trying to put the Jin in the deck, but I just don't have any copies of it. Alright, we'll lead off with the Delver. Hopefully we can just get a quick transform on it. But that would just be asking for too much. Let's attack first. And go for a Ledger Shredder. If I was optimizing damage, I'd probably go for another Delver, but then I leave myself open to opponent just going X1 Meat Hook and punishing super hard. Alright, we'll go for another Delver. Attack. We have Make Disappear available to us. Black-red for our opponent. Okay. I can't let Childred resolve. We're about getting draw value, and losing life for drawing cards, not exactly what we want to do. No blocks. Transform! Why can't you ever transform? Alright. Swing it in. We're going to hold up the Dissipate. Potentially Memory Deluge. I did want to put Loremaster to the board, but it's a bit late to the party. Have to counterspell that, because it just allows them to get rid of our cards easily. You gonna transform this time? Yay! Alright. Loremaster to board. And we'll also consider, so that we can get the Ledger Shredder trigger. Gonna actually discard the Deluge. Leave that on top. Land, pass. So if the opponent doesn't have any answers to our board state, we'll actually have Flying Lethal against them. Please, opponent, take the trap. Oh, they didn't fall for the trap. The extra 2 mana to tax them would probably have been enough to make sure that we didn't have to worry about getting in the attacks. Alright, opponent goes for Soren. Unfortunately gives him a life linker.
Out of my way. I have a way to stop. You can deal with my servant. I'm busy.
Alright, Spell Pierce is good. We'll take the action to draw. Land to the board. Take out Soren. Nah. Send these to the face. Send these to take out Soren. Gonna give up one of our aberrations here.
Without me, we're all doomed.
Now, I don't think Spell Pierce is necessarily going to save us against most of the spot removal right now. Because they already have enough mana that they can easily play a 2-cost and still pay the tax. Oh, there we go. That's a GG's. Because we're already looking at, what is it, 3... Oh, and they even attack in, so yeah, that's definitely... No blocks. Alright, so yeah, drawing Odawar actually would have given us the lethal here. Because even if they held us back to block, we could have discarded this and been able to still punch in the lethal. I did give him a little early for the GGs, but because I did the math, we were short one, but we got it. Ooh, I like this. We'll keep this one. Now, I don't think this is going to be the most ideal hand, but let's see. That's a lot of Vandals. We'll pass it to the opponent. Plan on flashing in a Vandal during their turn. An announcement, okay. We'll let the announcement actually resolve. Land Loremaster. Now, I want to go for the Loremaster so I can try to get the 4th land. Because that way we can attack in, you know, with what we have. At least getting 2 damage from this Fairy Vandal. But we'll be able to hold up the mana for Counterspell Magic as well as a potential double flash of Fairy Vandals. What do you have, opponent? Nothing? Ah. Well, that's rude. Oh, we put another one to the board. I have to admit, I wasn't thinking about the opponent going for a sweeper then. I thought there was some like interesting version of like white, blue, green enchantments. Because Selesnya enchantments is still a thing. Alright, Ascendancy is very powerful. And I feel bad that I wasn't able to get the counterspell off on that. Because, sadly, we didn't get the land until just now. Opponent's definitely got the advantage in this race. Because those are going to grow really quick. We need to find ourselves some of our bounce cards. Because, you know, they'll spin those into nothing. Kind of hoping to try to resolve a very expensive spell here. Because if they go for an expensive spell, we can go for the Make Disappear. Oh, they're not gonna... Double Vandal. Take the action. Alright, combat research is pretty good. But since we already have Loremaster, I don't think we want to go for research right now. Swing the team. Say hello to the Wandering Emperor. Say goodbye to the Wandering Emperor. Unfortunately, we do not have a counterspell to deal with any more sweepers or interaction right now. But the opponent takes the draw, so the extra 2 attacks might keep them from wanting to play too much. Just have to hope that they don't have another depopulate. Alright, interesting. They stayed back with both their creatures. We'll decline this time. Go for the combat research. Attack with both. Dissipate. Yeah, that's fine. Delver to the board. Unfortunately, we're going down so that way we don't have any counter spells right now. Trying to hope to top deck or have a non-creature spell, non-land card on top for the purpose of flipping the Delver. That way we can reach the lethal. Block there, take the rest. Companions for the opponent. Dance for the opponent. So, opponent had more life than us, so that didn't really do anything. Reveal, have lethal. Good game. Oh, that was close, but we got there. Yeah, I think the opponent lost that because they forgot to attack one turn. Alright, on the open. Has some really nice looking cards. We'll keep this. Right, we'll start with the Delver. Fortunately, the opponent had the play. Unfortunately, also, that was not a card to flip this Delver. Raffine for our opponent will flash in the Vandal. Why? There's only 2 of these in the whole deck. Alright. Bounce this. Yes, I'm sure. Oh, give me that salty your go. Thank you, opponent. Probably should have put this actually on the Delver, because it gives them a lot of incentive to kill the Vandal. Sad. Sad, sad, sad. Alright. Raffine, back to hand once more. bottom the land. Bring out the Delver. We have Spell Pierce. Might be enough to protect our card. Might not. Do we get a flip? Again, another land. I have the saddest Delvers. Oh well. We'll Spell Pierce the Wandering Emperor. Hello, Emperor. You were completely seen and for... There we go. Opponent has scooped it up. They just assumed that we had more counterspell magic and we were just tapped dry at that point. But hey, we get there with the deck. The saddest Delvers, just 1/1s, but we still caused them to scoop. Alright, well, we got a turn 1 Delver. We got to try keeping it. Alright, blue-green for our opponent, so I think we have a safe play on this. Shouldn't be any removal, right? Alright. The Death Bonnet Sprout for our opponent. So they are a self-milling recursion deck. So, Sultai colors so far. Yes, you can have the Undead Butler. But I think I'll put this back in hand. I'll keep the Loremaster. Probably should have, because I was planning on using the draw spell, draw first, and then do the scry. Reveal. Attack in. Pass it back. So, the Hulk is going to be an issue. The opponent knows we're just sitting on counterspell magic, so they might not play anything. Still good idea for us to counterspell. Just gotta hope they don't have the removal for the Aberration, because I went for the counterspell. The reason why I want to counterspell that, because this here eats cards in graveyard. So at the beginning of your upkeep, exile card. If a creature was exiled, get a +1/+1 counter on it. Alright, they had a Lugorf, so it does add some extra value to the play. And each creature they eat outgrows the Hulk, but shrinks the Lugorf. We can use Fading Hope to reset the Hulk. But for now, we're going to hold up Make Disappear and Syncopate. Now, does the opponent go for the draw here? Except that things get more expensive. They do, okay. So, makes it easier for us to counterspell something if they try to play spell. Because they try to, like, play a Lugorf. We'll take it. Our turn. Take that action. Attack for the 3 in the air. Now, I don't think the opponent's choosing to eat any of the creatures from their Hulk, just so that way they can maintain the decent threat size on both their creatures. We'll go for the Fading Hope this time. Okay, I like the Vandal draw. No blocks. Consider, add it to hand, put it to the board. Attack with these. We're planning on blocking with the Loremaster this time. Just because Luorf is going to hit us just for enough that we don't want to take it. 1, 2, 3, 4. We have to do X4 because they have 3 mana left over. And we can't let that hit the board and do its -2. Alright, they discard a Shell Crab.
When I win, you're telling me what you know about the Raven Man.
So yeah, we have to sacrifice here. Vandal's going to be our better sacrifice.
Personal space.
We need a... Ooh, I was going to say, we need a bounce spell not to die right now. Discard, make disappear. Land to bottom. Loremaster to board, except that we don't have a counter spell. Opponent's turn. Representing lethal in the air, so they're going to be looking for some way to kill our creatures. Pick on that, that's fine. That doesn't help them really any. Discard Shredder. Thank you, opponent.
You won't be outsmarted.
Okay. Block. Not taking the risk on the 1. Good game, opponent. We get there. We get there. I mean, we come up really close in each of these games with this deck, but we definitely get there. On the open... Yeah, this one seems keepable. Alright, opponent takes a mull and they're on the draw. Alright, against another blue player, let's put Shredder to the board. Alright, opponent's got black and blue. What other colors do you have, opponent? Well, we'll find out in a moment, probably. We'll go for the Vandal. Still have Spell Pierce available to us. Into a Counterspell War that triggers the Shredder. We'll put Fading Hope on the bottom. At this point, we'll attack in and pass. I don't put the Shredder on the board because I feel like we just want to hold up the mana for Counterspell Wars. Yep. No board wiping for you. Alright, and that's enough to send them packing. I was literally going to go Ledger Shredder, attack, and just hold up the Counterspell. But we didn't need to. Alright, we get a Delver hand. With double Vandal, I like this. We'll keep it. Alright, we draw a Loremaster. Let's see if we get this Delver to transform. Nope. I tell you, I have some of the saddest Delvers ever. We'll go for Loremaster. Now, the thing is, we actually give them an ability to draw again. Although, I do think the game does it in a weird way. They're allowing you to draw first and then get the option to see if you want to keep it. Alright, there we go. We get the transform. We're going for the attack and pass it back. We have the ability to hold, make disappear here. Counter that Lily. Hold the consider. Alright, just because they might go for another Lily play, I'm playing this main phase. Well, that's unfortunate. I guess I really should have gone for the Ledger Shredder, because it would have had a 4 toughness. Because it would have been a double spell draw still, anyways. Alright, Shredder to the board. Opponent's turn. We're holding up the Essence Capture. Alright, opponent gets the kill. Fable. Essence doesn't work on Fable, and it still produces creatures. Alright, land, consider, land the graveyard. Research. Why am I drawing so many lands? I mean, I guess we went through a number of non-lands, but it's like, not more land. We have Essence Capture, so we can counterspell the creature if they went for it. But again, they find a way to get creatures without playing creatures. We'll capture that. Thank you, opponent, for playing that. Alright, lay on the board, attack the face. I'm gonna have to ignore the Sorin. Alright, double make disappear means that we potentially can still counterspell anything that they play.
You wish to know my secrets? Very well.
Nice. That's unfortunately the game for us. We'll see what we draw, though. Well, let's see what we continue to draw. Nothing. Alright, yep. Give him the GG's. Yeah, so opponent got a whole lot of land so they could keep paying for our taxing. And the amount of removal that they managed to get was rather high. Lightning Strike, Lily, Meat Hook, and Infernal Grasp. Now, I could have played around the Meat Hook, and I made a mistake. And that was purely I had the opportunity to go for Ledger Shredder over Vandal, and would have ended out with a 2-4 instead of a 2-3. And that would have worked out a lot better for us. Alright, this one does nothing, so we're going to hit Mulligan. Alright, we keep this one. Now, which card do we send down? I think we send the Consider. And we get another Consider. Alright, Delver to the board. Would have been great if, like, we'd drawn a land and then Consider was the one on top. I guess it wouldn't matter. Let's go for Shredder. Oh, okay. Really? You may cast an instant of 1 or 2 from your... Oh, hand. Okay, so when they go for the card from the graveyard, they still have to pay the mana cost on that. Let's consider first. Trying to dig for a land. Oh, there's the land. And go for Delver. Get a trigger. Discard this land, though. Because I plan on using Fading Hope to protect our Shredder from this. This allows us to set the top of the deck. And I'm trying to find a spell to flip Delver. Love it. Absolutely hate it, but... Attack it. My opponent's got another Founding of the Third Path. When they last milled themselves, they milled 4 lands, which is unfortunate for them. Oh. Okay. Let's discard the Loremaster. Put this to the board. Reveal. Put the research here and attack him. Just gotta eat one of these right now. Alright. Probably should have just waited on our opponent's turn and just ate them both then. Because I could have just double drawn for the purpose of the Vandal. Well, we'll attack in. Get the Grow. Blood like crazy. Opponent goes for the removal again, and we will counterspell it again. They got such bad luck that they milled so many of their own lands. But then again, we're getting our own bad luck of just flooding here. They go land board wipe. I didn't have any answers. But we get there. That's actually one of those issues with self-milling decks. They seem cool because you get all this value of replaying your things from your graveyard, but sometimes you could just accidentally mill all of your resources that you need in order to play. So, this was the deck we were running. This is just mono blue tempo. We were trying to go with the idea we play small things, keep things off the board, use lots of counterspell magic. And this Delver's Secrets just did not want to flip in a number of games, and we are running a ton of instants and sorceries, or actually just all instants, to be able to transform it. And it just, when we got it to transform it was usually after it got to the board for at least 3 turns. So that's just some bad RNG in our favor. But the Academy Loremaster worked out really well in most of our games. And I think that this is actually a pretty good card. Now, I do think the combat research, I think this is one of those cards that I might only want to run 2 copies instead of 3. Because unlike the other variations of this card that have been printed, it doesn't give us like the +1/+1 right away. or if we were to have the white-blue variant, give us a lifelink, as well as the +1/+1 for drawing. So, it's not a bad card, but it only really works well with our Fairy Vandal. And it's great if we can have those together. Ledger Shredder is also another one of those cards. I would love it if we have the Dijin, but like I said, I don't have it in the deck because I don't have any copies of it. So, the Haughty Dijin I would recommend for the deck idea, because it does get power equal to the number of instant sorcery spells that are in our graveyard, and it also reduces our mana cost on our spells by 1. Now, the need to reduce the cost on spells isn't super imperative, because most of our cards, as you can see, don't really have a huge cost to them. But the extra cost reduction is still very valuable to us, because it makes Syncopate just a lot better of a card in general. The Make Disappears becoming 1 also still very powerful. They're basically an improved version of Spell Pierce. But the other reason why we want the cost reduction is because if we go for the Loremaster's draw, the extra 2 more to cast actually can be reduced by the Dijin's effect, I think. I'm not 100% sure on that, but if it does work that way, it'd be great. But there's a possibility it doesn't, and I haven't been able to play it to test it to be absolutely sure. These taxation rules, I think, goes that we don't get the cost reduction, but it's still fine. It works really well with most of our other cards.
Thank you for watching the video. Please leave a like if you enjoyed and subscribe for more content. If you'd like to join me while I stream, you can find me on Twitch, the link below. I hope to see you again in the next video, and have a nice one.